Well, I tell you what, if y'all are used to the normal slow cadence of the Target Suite lever gun content, today's video we're going to speed the thing up just a little bit with the Winchester Model 74. And if I can get this guy loaded without dropping any more rounds, we're going to talk about the historic nature of the Winchester 74. And instead of doing the slow cadence of the lever gun, pow, 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 we're going to do some tow, tow, tow. Sorry, I had to fix a jam. Hi, George here, and welcome to Tales from Target Suite, where I'll share my perspective on guns and shooting, and we'll spend some time at the range. And every now and then we'll reconvene out of my shop back in Houston, or here at the farm in Louisiana, where I'll build some fun projects, and we'll share an adventure or two that'll make even a grown man smile. And yes, in today's video, we have a classic and historic firearm, the Winchester Model 74. It was made from 1939 to 1955, and it played a very, very, very small part in World War II, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I want to say up front, if you have one of these or thinking about getting one, because they're great adult-sized .22 semi-auto rifles, if you're thinking about it, before you leave the range after a day of shooting, be sure and you can take home one of these, a spent .22 cartridge. And I'll tell you why in just a little bit. If your knowledge of firearms design and development stops with Stoner and Kalashnikov, we're going to go a little bit farther back than that, because this rifle was patented in 1902. And it was patented by Thomas Bennett and Thomas Johnson. Thomas Bennett, who was Oliver Winchester's son-in-law, took over the company and was really responsible for the development of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. Thomas Johnson, on the other hand, was a very prolific gun designer, responsible for the Model 74, which was not produced until 1939. But his first design that was produced was the Model 1903, and it was patented in 1902 as well. And just a couple of years later, in 1905, he had designed, and Winchester was producing the Model 1905, which was the first semi-automatic centerfire rifle. And then a few years after that, he designed the Winchester Model 12, which you've seen on this channel a few times, and he had several other guns that he had designed along the way. But why the 1902 invention of this design wasn't produced, I don't know. Maybe some of you guys know a little bit more history about the Model 74 than I do. But it was actually 37 years after the patent was released that this guy went into production in 1939, and it was produced until 1955. Now, the real historic connection comes in that in 1940 and 41, when the political pressures in the United States to stay out of World War II, the United States began lending, so to speak, equipment to England and to France and other countries. And one of those things that we loaned was the Model 74, and it was put together in a sniper configuration. Picture right here. And there were 600 of them that were distributed to resistance groups along the east coast of England in case the Germans crossed the channel and began to invade. They were going to be met with the awesome power of a .22 short caliber Model 74. It almost seems like a joke today, but that's what the United States did for those guys, for our friends in England back then. And I don't know that any of them were ever used. Well, because first of all, Germany never invaded England, at least not on the ground. They did in the air, of course. But so much for the Model 74 history. It's a great gun. It's a 6-pound, long-barreled rifle, adult-sized .22 semi-auto rifle. And since I've been shooting this afternoon, I've developed a little bit of a little bit of a jam situation. And so I've had to stop several times to clear it out. But up until this afternoon, this guy has shot like a dream. So it probably needs a really thorough cleaning because we shot it a lot yesterday when my friend Micah, who this belongs to, my friend Micah and his family were here at the farm, and they came down here and shot a lot of ammo through the Winchester Model 74. So let me get it loaded up again, and we'll do some more shooting. And of course, to load it up, we're going to take the magazine tube out of the rear of the stock. And then we're going to put 14 rounds of 22 long rifle right down this slot in the stock. And I hope you're counting because I've already lost count. Yep. All right, there's 14. Safety right here on top. Odd place for a safety. But there it is. We've got it on safe now. And let's shoot let's shoot the dueling tree. So there you have it. We have a little jam problems there. And I got to tell you, we shot a lot between me prepping for the video and Micah and his family. So anyway, the Model 74 was loaned to England for those resistance units on the East Coast, but it remained in production until 1955 in the United States, and it was offered in 4 versions. You can see those right here. Had 2 versions in 22 short and 2 versions in 22 long rifle, and so what a great gun. And I mentioned saving a spent cartridge, a case, when you go home, because in order to get this guy apart, there's actually a button right here that you press with your thumb, and you press that button and then you pull out the bolt. But in order to get press that button, you actually have to pull the trigger. You have to dry fire your rifle. And so if you take a case, open your bolt, put a case in the chamber, then you're not going to be damaging your firing pin or the chamber of your rifle. So that's why you need to save a case for cleaning, because this bolt just comes completely out of the end. And let's get it loaded up again and see if we can keep it from jamming. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try some different ammo. And we're going to shoot those apples and see if we can make them bust. But these are 1,200 feet per second white box Federal target stuff. Let's try some subsonic 22 long rifle hollow points. These are CCIs. And see if we get more or less jams. I have no idea whether these apples that I've got down here are going to respond to the 22 hollow points, standard velocity hollow points. I don't know. We'll see. Well, well, at least some of them moved. But anyway, that was those were 22 standard velocity hollow points, and I didn't get a single jam there. And I'm getting jams with the 1,200 feet per second high velocity Federal match ammo. And so I think I'm going to stick here with the subsonic 1,100 feet per second or so CCI loads. But anyway, what haven't I told you about the Model 74? 6 1/4 pounds. It's got a long barrel, and it's actually a long rifle as well because of the configuration of the receiver. And it's got a long tubular section here because that bolt that comes out, that bolt assembly, is about this long. And so it's an adult size 22, and which makes it a lot of fun to shoot. And and you put an 8-inch can on the end of it, and this rifle became, I think it was 56 or 54 inches long. It's a well-made 22 and a fun gun. So we're going to do some more shooting. First thing I want to do is spin that wheel. I believe the splatter from one of those steel targets busted that can. So let's finish off the rest of the cans. We're going to put it on safe, and I'm going to top off the magazine, and then we're going to pop some more targets. You know, I don't know if you guys ever thought about it, but one of the nice things about a tubular magazine is that you can stop in midstream. You can stop in midstream and top off your magazine. Oh yeah, this is a lot of fun. So what else can I say about this? But it's a really nice rifle. Thank you, Micah. I want to thank all of you guys who support the channel. Even if you're just watching, that's the support of the channel. If you support me with comments, likes, those are important for YouTube. So please hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, if you like the content and would like to see more. And if you're of the mind to support me on Patreon, and I would appreciate that as well. I thank all of you guys. You're a big help as the channel grows some. And I want to thank my friend Greg at OG's Danger Show. And Greg gave me a couple of shout outs this past week. And I really want to say thanks to Greg. You have helped me a lot. And so I thank you, Greg. And I'm going to set up one more target. And hopefully it'll be a little bit entertaining. And then I'll see you guys in the next video.